And I think we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down and do a live view videos. I'm tongue tied today. We're just going to do the best we can in spite of that. Thought I would sit down and do a live chat for you guys and gals. Let me give you guys a bicep shot before we get started. Bound by Cepheus. Let's check that a little bit better. All right, there we go. All right. Well, it looks like that kind of skipped a little bit. It started and then it restarting. So let's start that again. Hey, everybody. Hold on, I got a little bit of something on my lip there. All right, either some food. Yep. All right, looks like that could be some oats. All right, let me give you guys a bicep shot before we get started. Mountain by Cepheus. Let's see how many people we can get in here that have already seen me pick food on my lip. Very professional. Very professional. So we'll see who rolls up in here and see what sort of questions we get, but I'm going to start it off with a topic. Let's talk about rest time. Someone said, hey, could you cover rest times? Honestly, the short answer, rest times in the gym. Take as long as you need, okay? That would be the short answer. Take as long as you need to replicate your performance. Because why are we lifting weights? Well, generally to build muscle, right? That is the primary reason we lift weights. Other stuff is secondary. The research shows us that rest times of 3 minutes or longer seem to produce the most muscle growth as long as they allow for recovery of performance set to set. Now, is it a world of difference? Meaning if people did a minute and a half and they lost 10% of their strength from set to set, did it massively impact gains? No, but it mattered a little bit. We also have the situation to where effective volumes vary. And I've seen Dr. Krager address some of that there does seem to be a situation to where if we take shorter rest times, we usually need more total sets to stimulate maximum hypertrophy. So again, that's kind of another topic too. You know, it comes to volume versus intensity. The rest times seem to be a factor. Now, I'll say that all things equal, as long as you're training hard, probably doesn't matter. If you're trying to get the most muscle growth on a set-to-set basis, then obviously longer rest times matter. If you're trying to maximize strength production on the neural drive side, rest times matter. If you're trying to do big, heavy weights, rest times matter. If you're trying to purely chase the hypertrophy side, as long as you're getting close to failure, you're getting sufficient volume, sufficient quality. May not be that important. You can cut the rest times down. People who might do that might be chasing a bit of a conditioning benefit. So again, the answer is very nuanced. It really depends on what you're doing. So if people are like, hey, what's the answer? Well, there's a reason there are so many successful variations in this. It's because different people are pursuing slightly different things, and so therefore it matters. But I will say if you're just trying to get jacked, you can kind of go with either approach, right? You can go with either approach, do what works for what's going to keep you consistent in the gym and keep you training hard on a set-to-set basis and a workout-to-workout basis, and it'll be fine. I tend to personally advocate for myself, a lot of my clients, longer breaks on our big, heavy movements, shorter breaks on our lighter pump work, okay? In other words, on a squat, you might want 3 to 5 minute breaks. On a leg extension, you can probably get away with a minute. See how simple that is? On a pull-up, you probably want 3 minutes between sets. On a bicep curl, a couple minutes is fine, sometimes less. So there's your simple answer to this conundrum. TJ Gaming, how do I know if I have good bicep genetics? You don't. You don't have good bicep genetics, or you wouldn't need to ask. If you have good bicep genetics, you will already motherfucking know. You won't need to ask me. Therefore, if you're not sure, then you don't have great bicep genetics. It's very simple. The guy who can come in and do any type of curls that he wants, form doesn't matter, cheating, strict, could even do a bunch of weighted chin-ups and has really good biceps. That guy has good bicep genetics. He will never need to ask you a bicep training question his entire life. That's the guys with good biceps. It doesn't even matter what they do. You're going to have great biceps. That's how you know you have good biceps genetics. When you never need to ask a question about biceps because they just look fantastic. No matter how stupid you train them. See, very simple solution. Is it better to train fasted or consume protein before working out on a cut? Depends on what you're doing. I personally train fasted. I don't even sometimes eat for a couple hours after I finish my workout. That's me. That's what I'm doing these days. That's what I've been doing for a while. But it's because I have a super high appetite, and so I try to eat in a fairly small feed window in the afternoons. I only have about a 6-hour feed window every day. Some days it might go to 8, some days it's only 4. But again, that's me personally. It's going to depend on your individual appetite and what you're trying to do. I find that approach works well for me for satiety, which is really the name of the game. Now, if we go off research, it's probably not a bad idea to eat low carbs and or protein before you train. Again, if we're trying to fine tune based upon data, but also keep in mind on a cut, what are you also trying to do? Control your appetite, maintain your calorie intake consistently. And for me, I find that just being fasted all morning does that better. And my workouts are much better in the morning. I'm a much better morning training person. So again, a little bit complicated depending upon specifically what it is you are attempting to do. All right. We only had one person ask questions. I guess people are not interested in chiming in. Or they haven't been subscribers long enough to ask questions. I have it set at 60 seconds. Unless I put it in incorrectly. It's possible. It's possible I might have done that. I might have set it to 5 minutes accidentally and not realized it. You guys let me know. Hey, some of you who if you just subscribed and you can't post, let me know. No, wait. It says right there, subscribers of 1 minute. Yeah, okay, you're good. I'm addicted to pre-workout. I can't work out without it. Well, how do I put this politely? If you would listen to my channel, you would have never gotten on pre-workouts and got addicted to begin with. My advice in the future, listen to what I tell you. It will help you tremendously. I don't say that sort of thing lightly. I don't say that pre-workouts are addictive, useless junk that really shouldn't even be on the market. I don't say that lightly. Now, that being said, I don't know how you get unaddicted. You're going to maybe need to talk to somebody who specializes. I would just say quit taking them and you will probably be okay. It just might take you a few weeks to adapt. What's the target weight you want to reach by the end of the year, Coach? I don't know. I don't have an exact number. How about I just get leaner? My goal is to have a target weight that puts me leaner and just as jacked as I am right now, with possibly a little more muscle if possible. Whatever that number happens to be is my target goal. How's that? Hey, Jason, how do I deal with brain fog after workout? Feels like all the blood's in my muscles and out of my brain. I don't know. I can't really relate to this. Can't Curry. I'm not going to make those sort of predictions anymore. And here's the problem. I have no idea what Eric is doing these days. I have not kept up with anything that he's done. I don't know how big he is. I don't know what his admitted gear use is. Therefore, I have no educated opinion at all on the topic. How's that for a fair answer? Absence of information essentially means I do not have an answer. Keeping in mind, he's not even on my radar. As far as I am aware, he stopped existing a few years ago. If he is still a living person making videos as of the last couple of years, I am completely oblivious to that fact. I didn't know that he wasn't already dead or that he didn't leave YouTube or whatever. I had no clue. Any advice on how to deal with a friend at work who keeps stealing my healthy food? Why don't you take it to management? or press criminal charges. That will resolve it real quick. Like, why confront? Why do you need to confront him with negative body language? I mean, if the guy is stealing your food, that's one, grounds for termination. Two, that's grounds for jail time. Have him arrested. I promise you, if the police come in and charge him with something over it, he won't steal your food anymore. Simple, quick resolution. If he's stealing your food, he needs to go to jail. At the very least, he needs to be fired. Problem solved. This shouldn't be happening in a work environment. How much do you sleep at night? Minimum 8 hours. I mean, it varies a little. I shoot for a minimum of 8. Louis, I'm almost shocked that I need to tell someone how to deal with a thief at work. Talk to the boss or talk to the police or both. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. That's how you deal with theft. Right? I don't care that your food being healthy or not is completely irrelevant. Not even relevant to the topic. This shouldn't even be a fitness related question. This is almost a, how do you deal with criminals? How do you deal with work harassment? Well, that's why you have bosses at jobs, and this is why law enforcement exists. All right. Well, he probably is trolling, Luke. Yeah, it's okay. I'll see what else he does. If he keeps trolling, I'll get rid of him. Thanks for the daily content. You're the best in the game. Taking it outside of fitness for a second, got any favorite movies you can name? I'm going to go with Raising Arizona. That's up there. The Big Lebowski. Talladega Nights. Just come to my head just off the top of my head. Do you do any work? Do you work out in a public gyms? Kent Curry, are you new to my channel? Now, if you actually know who Jason Blaha is and you watch my channel for a week, you would know that I train in my garage and upload it to the internet. All right. So you're either a troll or you're someone who just discovered my channel 10 minutes ago and jumped into my live stream. And it's possible you're the latter. If so, welcome aboard. My name is Jason. You probably have never heard of me before. You're new here. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming to my live stream. And to answer your question, yes, if you look at the vlogs, I train in my garage these days and I upload it to the internet. Every one of my workouts gets uploaded to the channel, every single work set that I do every week. It's all here for you, for your enjoyment and viewing and learning pleasure. All right, what else do we have, guys? I can't eat vegetables, so I just drink powdered form. TJ, you're trolling me now. You just accused someone else of trolling, and then you wrote some trolly stuff like that. You cannot eat that. You can't eat vegetables. Really? I mean, is your name Michaela Peterson? Do you believe in circadian rhythms for health? Gains does not matter as long as you're. No, I mean, it matters. We have data on it, and we know that shift workers have shorter lifespans, higher cortisol, more health problems on average, purely due to their sleep pattern, right? We as a species are generally wired to sleep at night and to be awake in the day. Okay? The data supports that. So it's not really a question of what I believe, right? not a question of what I believe or what you believe. Curry, I don't actually keep up with politics that closely these days, and I will not discuss politics. It's not a topic I'm going to discuss online anymore. I am a generally almost non-political person. I keep up with it. My friends all talk about it, but I don't even adhere to either political party. And I generally find politics mostly distasteful at this point. I mean, I don't like the taste of veggies. Well, cook them different. Cook them in your other food. Why don't you do what all the rest of us do and just cook them into your food, or cook them into your rice? Problem solved. I mean, I throw broccoli, sweet potatoes, all that stuff in my rice in the Instant Pot. Solutions, I have them. See how easy that is? Also, mustard works wonders. Max says strength and powerlifting. Oh, regular. Been a while, Jason. Hope you're doing well and are your competition days over? Well, it's the same thing I always say. I am not going to publicly discuss that. Do I currently have any plans of competing? No. Will I probably compete again at some point? Yes. Right? Do I know when? No. Will I announce it? No. So, how did the Hodge twins amass 1 million subs? By making funny content? Dude, they've been around forever and they were funny. Are you one of those super tasters where even bland foods taste good? Yep. Yes, I am. Dude, I don't have to season my food to make it taste good. I do like to add flavoring to water, but I can drink it plain. I drink my coffee black. I can literally take chicken breast, right? Throw it in the oven, bake it, take it out, and eat it with nothing on it, and it tastes just fine. I can take white rice, throw it in the Instant Pot with water and a little potassium salt and eat it, and it tastes just fine. It tastes good. Now, adding stuff can make food taste better, but plain rice and plain unseasoned chicken actually tastes pretty good. I don't understand the problem. But again, I'm probably, as you described, the super tasters, which is a documented thing. Although I suppose there's a stereotype there about saltine Americans. Yeah, Max, I just forgot about. Yeah, weirdos are a problem. Do you eat lamb? Not lately. I like lamb, and I've had lamb a number of times, but it's never been a regular for me. It's stuff I've had when I've gone out to eat. Can't say I've ever bought lamb and cooked it on my own. Have I had it at restaurants and enjoyed it? Yes. But it's a fattier cut of meat, and I don't generally eat much animal fat. Makes meal prep easier. It's the same guy talking about the super tasting. Makes meal prep easier. I need to get my seasoning just right and a lot of variety. Yeah, I can't relate to that at all. Right? I can't even relate to that. But I can understand how that could be the case for some people. But it's just unrelatable for me. That's why on some stuff, I'm probably not always the best person to ask certain questions to. Not of, hey, what do you recommend to your clients? People ask me, what do you do? Well, you may not enjoy what I do. Hey, man, plain white rice and chicken and broccoli with no seasoning tastes great. You could eat that every day and it tastes great. I have no problem with it anytime I want. See what I mean? I could eat 8,000 calories of it. Cilantro, lime, rice, black beans with chicken has been a cheat code for my lunches lately. 800 calories. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. If you're really trying to season stuff up a little bit, a little cilantro and lime is actually a pretty good combination on your chicken. All right, Louis says, gyms ain't what they used to be. There's just no social or community anymore. Working out at home is a smart thing. These days, it really is. And I'm not saying there aren't exceptions, but by and large, I've done videos on that. There's less community at gyms. compared to what they're used to be. It's a different environment. And some people chimed in those videos I made on it. One guy tried to blame it on women, which is ridiculous. I'm going to blame it on social media and lack of social skills. All right. The same reason young men all the time chime in with, I can't get laid, I can't meet women. Well, because they have no social ability because they are purely internet and they're disconnected from the real world. And it's the same thing. That's the same problem with gyms. Jason, what advice do you give someone who deadlifts with straps because they're afraid of mixed grip bicep tears and hook grip hurts too much? Lose the straps and just pull with a mixed grip, dude. Don't be afraid of it. Don't bend your arms, right? Be careful of what combinations of magical supplements you use. That's a big factor. Okay. And learn to lock your elbows when you pull. And don't overtrain your deadlift. If you follow those 3 rules, the odds of you ripping a bicep on a deadlift is like winning the lottery or being struck by lightning. You're probably more likely to tear a bicep doing a cheat curl at that point or a heavy curl with a little body English. That, I would say, doing a preacher curl where you lay back on it at all is probably 50 times higher chance of tearing a bicep as a 600 deadlift in that situation I just described. I'm a football, because it's max strength and powerlifting. I'm a football coach in strength conditioning in high school. These kids don't talk to each other anymore, staring at iPads and phones all day. Yeah, I mean, therein lay the problem. Therein lay the problem. It's lack of social skills and lack of social interaction. And that's kind of ruined gyms. And it's even created this weird scenario to where guys can't get laid. And I guess it's more pussy for everybody else. For guys who actually learned to talk to girls, I guess they just going to get all the pussy. Then they're all going to bang 50 women, and the other guys are going to be virgins because they're on their iPad all day. And that's the reality of it. That's the entire answer to that conundrum. Dan, a fun fact, you sold my aunt a washer and dryer many, many, many years ago. Dan, do you know that actually is possible? I sold a lot of washers and dryers. And I was jacked at the time. Like I was not a tiny non-lifter when I was doing that. Oh gosh, what year would that have been? It would have had to have been well over 20 years ago because I did it for about a year and a half. Yeah. Like I was top salesman for a while. Yeah, my God, I'm trying to think, what year would that have been? Maybe 2001. Coach, is there any benefits of deloading 10 to 20% of the knowledge program when you fail as opposed to staying in the same? No, we do the reset for a reason. I've done videos explaining why for a novice we need to do that. No, do your 10% reset. Jason, do you think your old 4-day upper lower with 2-day squat and deadlift days a week is too hard on recovery for the average middle-aged man? Yeah, if they're strong, it is. You know, Mike, it depends on relative strength. I'm going to say if they can squat at least 400 pounds and deadlift 500, yeah, it probably is going to be too much. Max. If you squat 200, it's totally fine. Not going to be an issue. Now, Dan, here's my question on the thing with the washer dryer. Did you just make that up because I used to be an appliance salesman, or is that really true? I'm actually really curious because it's just kind of funny. Because I sold hundreds and hundreds of them. So, I mean, it's entirely possible. So, okay, cool. I mean, yeah, it actually legitimately is possible that it happened. So. If you feel like telling the story about it, whatever she told you, that would be funny. Go ahead. All right. All right, what else we have going on here? Is that slowly a little bit of a trickle up in here? A few more people. Oh, drop back down. People are in and out. In and out. Louis says worked in the sales and get on with it. Too much of a shark pit. I left a lower pressure. Sales was definitely a shark pit when I did it. Some of the competition got ugly for those sales, particularly when certain guys were not making their quotas. They would break rules and stuff, like literally steal your sales. Try to sell her an in-store warranty or washer and dryer. I had the highest sales percentage on warranties out of anybody in the department. Damn. I had the highest sales on them. I guess she didn't fall for my shtick. You're gonna laugh if she was a woman and she didn't said no, and I probably would have flirted with her just to try to increase my chances, because I got commissions on those. I got like $10 every time I sold one. Like $10 to $12 every time I sold one. So I tried to sell a minimum of 2 or 3 of them every day. And that was just pure commission. Yeah, Louis, that sort of thing is definitely a shark pit. Like I literally had another guy steal my sales after I was already the salesman signed off. Like, go up to the register with someone and change something. Hey, hold on. So you're checking out with this, and have his name put over on the actual register when they were checking out. Like after I had sold everything. Jason, what do you think about Mike Israel quitting pursuing a pro card in bodybuilding, not being able to handle the Celtec side effects? No idea. I didn't know he was pursuing it anyways. Rondo said a lot of salesmen fudge the numbers to make it look like they beat their quotas. A friend of mine used to do that all the time. Yeah, they do. Limitless will. So I'm not going to say anything nice to you about that. You tried the carnivore diet thing because I talked about it in a negative manner, mind you. I feel really good this. Okay. Limitless. So what do you think that I think of you right about now? Based on you writing that I have explained that literally only a blithering idiot could be convinced to try this diet, that you would have to be either mentally ill or borderline mentally deficient. I will not use the R word, in order for another human being to convince you to do this diet, and you just told me that you tried it. So, very polite question. What do you think that I think about you? I mean, you essentially just admitted it. You essentially just admitted that you're really stupid or you're mentally ill. I mean, damn, bro, come on. Would you know how to fix the washing machine if yours broke down? Nope. I got a handyman quoted $200 work at it, not including any parts. Right? Nope. I never worked on a washing machine. In fact, I have someone come out and fix mine when it's broke. I bought the warranty. All right. Hey, Jason, you know how to, yeah, next question. Hey, Jason, I'm the dude who asked about the question with rest times. 11, I spent the first 5 minutes answering it if you want to scroll back through, but I just realized, yep, I recognize the name and I am aware that you're the person who asked it. The name matches. So now, Rondo, answer the question, the mechanical aspect, sure, I have decent mechanical skills. I've obviously rebuilt engines and compressors and things like that, hydrogen and natural gas compressors. But I have no experience with washers, and they're modern tech now. There's so many computer parts and panels, and I don't know how they work. All right. So not really, I would not be the person to ask. But I mean, $200, it may be a normal quote. You could go talk to someone else about it, but not my area of expertise. I only sold them and sold the warranties. I didn't actually do the repairs. All right. All right. You kind of slowed down in here. People have kind of chillaxed a little bit with the comments and questions. I think I have it set now to where these questions aren't going to repeat, so people slip and troll stuff there isn't going to help out. My day's been fine. Got plenty of work done. Got training done. Did some painting. My afternoon plans got canceled though, unfortunately. Would you train full body coming off of a layoff? No, I wouldn't. Why would I train full body? Maybe that's not the question you were meaning to ask. Because you just said the word you. So now your question might be, would you recommend that some people in a specific situation? Well, possibly, yes. But would I personally do it? No. I'm an advanced lifter. Why would I need to do that? I'd recommend a novice do it. I program it for novices who've had layoffs and are coming back weak. A lunge is good for legs. Yes. Yes, they are. This isn't fitness related, but just curious, what do you think of the Iron Jaws faction? How come you didn't go Auroch mode in Age of Sigmar? Why? All right, that's a legit question. I'll accept that. I actually thought about it. Funny that you asked that because I loved Orcs and Goblins in fantasy battles. I did a lot of Orc and Goblin, but I settled in with Warriors of Chaos with them finally, if you guys saw the old stuff. And quite frankly, for me, it was more of a toss-up between Blades of Corn and Slaves to Darkness. I do have the Vanguard box for Blades of Corn. I got a good deal on it. I haven't opened it yet. I've had it for like 2 months. I still haven't opened it. I may do some Spearhead with it, but I've gone all in on my Slaves to Darkness. In fact, I started painting Eternus today. All right. We started working on him. He's going to look baller when I'm done. Eternus, the Blade of the First Prince, to go with my Bellacore. Jason, do you think a static barbell helper grip training gives too much axial loading? Yep. Waste of time. Not saying, sorry, burped here. Not saying it doesn't work. It's just why the axial loading. Right? On a upper and lower, would you make a difference if you did 2 on, 2 off, repeat an extra day? I don't know. Because I think we should program 7 days because we have 7-day lives. Do you name Rondo? No, those are the names. I don't name them. The only one that I named, if you saw the post, was Chaos Lord Smike. And it's totally a reference to a comic strip from 40K that one of my friends, real life friends, posted in our group chat. We have a whole group chat of my real life friends who play it. And it had to do with repainting models. And it was whatever, something private, whatever, Smike from 40K. And so we named him because I was stripping him down again to repaint the Chaos Lord model that I really dislike. So I named him Smike. We call him Chaos Lord Smike. But otherwise, no, those are the actual names. Limitless, I think, is super easy to paint them. I mean, I've already won some painting contests and stuff. I don't think it's hard. You just grab the brush and run with it. You just have to learn some basic techniques. Once you learn basic things like dry brushing and edge highlights, dude, it's easy mode. It's easy mode. You should be able to paint well enough to sell them for $400 or $500 a model at that point. I thought about it. Like my Bellacore, I saw one someone sent me that looked about half as good as mine that someone sold for $500 on eBay successfully. I put about 5 hours of work into a model like that. That one took second place in a painting contest. I don't think it's hard, dude. You just jump on and just paint, right? Basing is probably a little harder. Well, Rondo, I have to take my glasses off to paint them. I get them in close, and I literally have to take my glasses off when I do it. Or fingertip push-ups useful? Probably not. Yeah, Rondo, you want to use precise brushes. Hold on. So for the small, the detail type work, you need very, very fine brushes, like that punch on there. So notice the little tiny tip. Do you think 140 kilogram deadlift for 10 reps is decent? I haven't tested my run rep max yet. Last time I tested got 160, but it was weaker. Yeah, it's pretty good. Is that the Games Workshop stable? No, that isn't. Not this. You're thinking of the, well, what are they called? Artisan brushes that they do. No, that is honestly, that is literally an $8 brush. That is an $8 brush. Rondo depends on the model. I have about, oh gosh, that last set of nights that I put the pictures up, I have about 12 hours into that unit. I have 5 hours in my Bellacore. Let me grab down. So he took second place in a recent painting contest locally. I have about 5 hours in this one. You can't really see the detail that well on here. I got close-up pictures online. But there's a lot of fine dry brushing and everything there. Got the whole cracked lava base and everything. But so he's 5 hours. Let me see if we can get any better detail. All the skin is dry brushed on him in multiple layers. Whereas this one, which I just finished this week, this is only about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. This is Chaos Lord Smike. And you can't see the cloak. The cloak is 4 different colors of red all layered in. You can't see that in the lighting. But I've got pictures up, you can see. The skulls are not a wash. It's so on the actual skulls on that one, on that specific one, because the skulls are different model to model. So for this one, for those curious who care, all the skulls on the base are wraith bone is a base. So I did wraith bone, and then I covered them with a contrast called rattling grime, and then made sure I got lots of it into eye sockets. Then I ran a layer of dry brush with 2 different colors. So let me show you what those colors are. So I do a dry brush layer after the rattling grime. I do one with a layer called Ubashi bone. And then I do a final dry brush with wraith bone. And then I did just a very, very, very tiny amount of scar white. And I mean a very tiny amount with a dry brush. Briefly explain Warhammer Lord. No, you can't. It's too complicated. Let's see. In short, Warhammer, I guess 40K, because I don't do 40K. I do all the fantasy stuff, so Age of Sigmar now. 40K, essentially, whole universe. You've got the whole empire, the emperor, who is essentially a dead god on a throne, holding back the forces of chaos. And essentially, I play chaos anyways, which are essentially demonic gods from an alternate universe called the Warp, who are then trying to invade and corrupt the primary universe and you have all these other sub-factions of various aliens, often called Xenos and everything. And basically, the Empire are considered the good guys, but they're not really. They're essentially a religious fascist state, and that's the closest thing you have to good guys in the Grim universe that is Warhammer. Like even the good guys are technically would be considered bad guys by normal standards. It's a very, very grim, dark fantasy type setting. I essentially play in my game, and I essentially play Chaos, which are just openly the bad guys. Like I play an army literally called Slaves to Darkness. All right. Coach, even eating at a calorie deficit, will the human body adapt to progressive overload? If you gain muscle, yes, potentially. What's your opinion about supplementing melatonin for sleep? I think it can be extremely valuable. If you need it, you've got to deal with the vivid dreams. I used melatonin for a long time. I recently quit again a couple months ago. I only use it on occasion because the dreams were getting so intense all the time and I can't handle it sometimes. Because for me, the vivid dreams are the biggest side effect of melatonin. And people are like, well, I mean, how intense? I've said this as a joke, but it's not. Your dreams every night are literally things like you're fighting an entire horde of Terminator zombies, complete with the titanium chassis with rotting skin over them, hordes of zombies like that, and shooting tons of them, usually with miniguns. Maybe your hands turn into miniguns with laser axes and stuff. And usually right about the time you run out of ammo in those sort of scenarios and you hear them start spinning down, something like a giant zombie great white shark will jump out of the crowd, land on and bite you. But while you're trying to get away from it, it's biting, you fall off of a cliff and it continues to try to eat you while you fight it with your laser hands on the way down till you hit the ground. And you usually wake up right about the time you hit the ground. And then you go back to sleep and repeat a similar dream immediately. Over and over and over and over and over. So that is essentially melatonin dreams. And yes, it is literally that intense every single night. And I'm just giving that as a basic example because that's one I've probably had 100 times. It's just one example. Or maybe like you living in a possessed house that's demonically possessed with an Annabelle doll that lives on the top floor. Stuff like that. That's essentially what sleep is like on melatonin. Jason, do you caffeine withdrawal headaches if you go off caffeine? Yes, absolutely. Eddie just asked, let's see. I'm currently 165 pounds, up from 148 in January. My lifts are bench. I've already read your thing earlier. I answered your question. Your bench is fine. Your bench is way ahead of your other lifts. It's not stalled. Just take your time and keep training. Honestly, it sounds like your squats and deadlifts need to come up a lot more. Your benching is great for where you're at. All right. How do banded press downs help with elbow pain? They have to do with getting blood flow to the tendons. That's the biggest part of it. They get tons and tons and tons of blood flow to the tendons, plus the micro tearing can help speed up. It feels almost like connective tissue hypertrophy in the area. But the blood flow that they give is the big part of it with helping reduce inflammation over time. And it hypertrophies the tendons. It's, again, a big deal. Sounds like I need to try melatonin just for the action-packed dreams. I mean, they're intense. Thoughts on Quizzy Pop? I don't know what Quizzy Pop is. What's your thoughts on Nash? I'm not going to get into a deep political conversation. Sorry, guys. Eddie, slowly gain weight. Make slow lean gains from here. You're up at 165. Just gain slowly. Gain 10 pounds over the next year. Make it all lean gains. Keep progressing. You'll be fine. 140 kilograms on spots. The parallel is considered intermediate. How about a deep ass to grass pause squat? Would you still say anything? I don't know. I guess so. Sure. I still say it's no. Even 130 is not really true novice anymore. Now, if you can do anything, if you can do 100 kilos for reps with any squat form, you're probably not a novice. Warhammer painting. I'm not really set up to do that type of video, to be honest. Like I don't even know how guys are setting up their cameras who I see doing it. There are people who really have a lot of experience and they make great videos on that. I don't feel like I could compete with that. Fitness and lifting really is kind of my forte. As far as my content, because for me, the problem is if the painting turns into work, I'm going to hate it. Like if it becomes something that's tied to one of my businesses and I see it as a workload and filming it, I'm not going to enjoy that. For me, it's relaxing, it's de-stressing. It's something I do to reduce stress and unwind. And so the idea of setting up cameras and trying to edit and upload would turn something that I do to reduce stress into work. That wouldn't be helpful to me at all. When I'm doing upright rows and shrugs after releasing the weight, I feel very dizzy. Why is it happening to me? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you're holding your breath. Maybe you're squeezing your neck or something. It's like a gray type of food. Yeah, I don't know what that means. The same guy was asking me about Quizzy Pop. It's a gray. I don't understand. All right, sorry. Jason, do you play Magic the Gathering? I haven't played Magic in many years. Do you think Rob McDonald is a good source of information? Puts out good information. Sorry, things get hit by the little heart on the side. Yeah, I think Lyle is generally a good source of info. Yeah, Limitless. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you there, dude. I'm not going to be able to help you when we're discussing massive cultural differences across other countries as far as specific foods and diet and cheat day. I'm not going to be able to help you there. Sorry, because I don't know anything about your country and the dietary habits and the food. I'm not going to be when you're asking specific stuff like that, I'm not going to be able to help you. No, I don't have any Magic the Gathering cards. I would say all my old Magic the Gathering cards have been gone for over 20 years. How correlated would you say overhead press and bench are and squats and deads? They're not really that much. Meaning, yeah, I mean, the bench will increase your overhead press. Overhead press probably won't increase your bench much. Jason, what do you think about doing double overhead RDLs for extra grip training? Perfectly fine, as long as it's not completely limiting your sets. Although I personally usually do them with a mixed grip. Fair enough, I respect your answer. One more question, thoughts on quads training? I have tons of videos about legs and quad training. It's not a specific question, unfortunately. Yes, I think you should train your quads. There we go. Why do people hate on you so much? Because they like to hate, because their haters are going to hate. Ed, let me ask you a question. Why are you getting upset at haters for doing their job? It's their job to hate. That's a hater's job. That's their entire purpose in life. You can't get upset at someone for doing their job and fulfilling their entire reason for existing. Right? Most haters have nothing else going on in life, and therefore they exist for the purpose of being a hater. Let them do their job. We all need our haters. It's when you know you've made it. How much on an average would a 500 deadlift be able to stiff leg deadlift? I don't know that there's an average. Anywhere between 300 and 500. Jason, you made several shirts saying why the squat's key exercise, but why not conventional deadlift? You lift more weight and use more muscles, but it doesn't work the biggest muscles as much as the squat. The quads are the biggest muscle in the body. The quads get worked through a full range of motion on the squat, not on the deadlift. Deadlift also fatigues you more. Rich Piana used to say hate is still publicity at the end of the day, etc. I mean, he wasn't wrong. Do you think men look better heavier, like 15 to 16% body fat as opposed to 12? No, I mean, generally speaking, 12%, 10 to 12% is going to generally be considered a better look in terms of physique than 15 to 16. Anything under about 10, though, you start getting into an area where a lot of people are going to disagree. They're getting too lean. To most people, shredded doesn't look good, by the way. It's not aesthetic, it's not attractive. Do you ever thought about a public? Nope, no desire. Nope. At what bench to body ratio do you think people begin to look impressive? I don't think ratios matter at all. Bench body weight to bench ratio, that's basically code word for short people. Short people have really, really good strength ratios. So I don't know why we're even looking at that. Why don't we work on just looking good, getting jacked and getting lean and being proportionate? Yeah, people that don't train legs have good bench to weight. That's also true. If you're not carrying around an extra 15 pounds of lower body muscle, and that ratio is going to be a lot better. So people with no legs, people who are short, also obviously people who are lean, except body fat helps a little with the bench, unlike the deadlift where it hurts you. All right. What's the biggest cause of plateaus for novice lifters? Is gaining weight, needing sufficient protein, lack of patience. The biggest reason for plateaus is usually for most novices, they're either not training hard enough, they're overtraining and then not recovering from it, or they're just not being patient enough and not realizing that after the first couple months and you're only making gains in strength based upon your new muscle growth and no longer your neural drive, you have to accept that it's going to go real slow. And therefore, what they perceive as a plateau may not actually be a plateau. It's just a normal rate of progression. Good idea to continue protein overfeeding after a cut to the extent that you can afford it. Watch your videos, have a decent idea of it, things you focus on stably. Yeah, it can be really useful for that. Or you can just eat a really, really low-fat diet, and that will give a similar effect. But again, keep it in mind, the protein overfeeding, it is expensive. And in today's economy and the cost of food, that can be prohibitively expensive for a lot of people. You know, when your protein intake is costing you more than a car payment for that additional protein, that can impact your quality of life at that point, just to try to eat a little more calories while staying leaner, when you could just trim fat out of your diet and possibly eat a little less, and save yourself $500, $600, $700, $800 a month. You think it's possible to cut without strength loss? Dean, that's like asking how long is a piece of string. Obviously, it's possible, and the mileage is going to vary. It's going to depend on how fat a person is, how advanced they are, a host of other factors. There are at least 5 different variables that are going to be factors in determining the answer to that question. So yes, it's possible. The degree of possibility and the likelihood is based upon a variety of different variables. How often do you recommend cardio? I think daily cardio is fine. How important would you say protein is for a novice? It's important for every human being on earth. It's important for animals. It's important for everyone. I'm not going to go into my current grocery budget because it's kind of hard for me to actually break it down. A fair amount. Any tips for low back pain? Nope, not without having a ton of information for a consultation. Like, how many calories you eat a day? Around, at the moment, about 3,500. Can we convert vitamin A from vegetables? Yes, you can convert beta carotene into other forms of vitamin A. It's not an efficient process, but it absolutely is possible to get optimal amounts through that pathway. All right, so we're 54 minutes in, about 55. I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. So now I answer Nick's question before I wind it down. Can someone develop decent shoulders without overhead press? Yes, obviously. Obviously you can. Many people have done it. Overhead press is just another tool in your toolbox. It's not essential. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.